Next, we're going to go into the develop module. And the develop module, what you're going to do is really work your images. You're going to take out the red eye, you're going to crop it, you're going to change the white balance. And white balance is, for example, if it's in sunlight or shade or indoors, indoors in tungsten light. And you know by you've probably seen this, if you take images indoor in tungsten, if you put a white sheet of paper, instead of looking white, it's going to look like yellowish. So that's what white balance is. White balance is if you can set it so that that white sheet of paper actually looks white. So you can change that there. You can change the colors. You can and the colors you can change them. It's very powerful. You can, for example, say, okay, the sky, which is blue, I want you to make it darker, richer, but only the blue. Don't touch any other color. Or the green grass, I want it. I don't know, I want it to be green, but a little more towards that shade of green. And also I want it to be lighter. All of that you can do, so it's very specific. You can sharpen your images. And this is something that if you take images with whatever digital camera and the output is JPEG, typically the camera does that. It enhances colors, it sharpens the image, and it does a bunch of things. But when photographers take pictures, we rather take it in RAW, because RAW keeps more information about the image. And then what we do is we take software, for example, like Lightroom, and we can do all those things ourselves. Like we can enhance the colors ourselves, but we have control over how we enhance the colors. We can set the white balance or change the white balance, but we have control over how to do it. We can sharpen the image, but we have control over how to do it. So, you know, these things are and by the way, even if you took the picture as a JPEG, and that's what you have, you can still change these things. So if the image, even if it's nice and sharp, you can make it a little sharper if that's what you want. What else can you do? You can make a picture black and white. You can have virtual images, which is something like shortcuts in an operating system. If you have a shortcut of a folder, it's not a new folder and everything inside of it is new, like you have 2 copies. It just points to the other folder, and inside you're going to see the same thing, so it's not 2 copies. So the same thing with virtual images. You can have that, and it's a little different than shortcuts, because then what you can do is the image plus the virtual image. One, you can make a black and white, and the other you can make very colorful. But in reality, it is one picture. Even though they look totally different, it is one picture. What else can we do? We can take snapshots of a picture, but it's hard to explain, even though it's a very simple concept, and so we'll explain it in due time. You can do lens corrections. And lens corrections are because even though I have a professional camera and I have professional lenses and they're top quality lenses, still those lenses are not perfect. They have some distortion created by the lens. So in Lightroom, it can correct those distortions or chromatic aberration, and so all these are imperfections of the lens, and it'll correct that. Also, you could correct for the camera. Even professional cameras are not gonna capture colors perfectly. So if you capture something with the red, that red is not going to be exactly captured with the exact shade of red. Now you're saying, well, yeah, who cares? Because it's still going to do a pretty good job. And normally you wouldn't care. But some photographers do product photography. For example, you're going to photograph a can of Coca-Cola, and that's what they're paying you for. In that case, you really need to have the colors be spot on. Because even if it's a little bit off, you know, they're going to say, no, this is useless to me. So you know, in that sense, you can correct for the camera if anything's not spot on. You can also add certain effects to your images. So all of that you can do in the develop module. And then you have, let's say, one module which is Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's there. And then 4 modules that are output. So let's take a look at that. So the map module, it's not really an output, but it's not part of the library or develop. And the map module, really what you're going to do is geotagging. So for example, if you take a picture with an iPhone, the iPhone has a GPS, so it's going to have information about latitude and longitude. It's going to know exactly where in the planet you took that picture. And that information is called metadata. It's part of the EXIF data. It's another way of, and that information is going to stay with the image. However, a lot of cameras don't have that, don't have a GPS and don't do that. So you can go into this map module and tell it, okay, this picture I took exactly here, and this picture I took there, and you can do all that, and then you'll have your pictures geotagged. And it does other things other than that. For example, you can say, okay, I live here, and then you can say, oh, and my client lives here, or whatever, and you can say, okay, all the pictures which are within 20 miles of this spot, why don't you show them to me? So you have different ways of using that, and some, I guess, are more useful than others, but it's all there in the map module. And now we're going to get into truly what is output. So let's look. First, you have the book module, and it's what it sounds like. You can create books, photography books, and they can have images and text. Lightroom can create these books for you. Obviously, if it creates them for you automatically, they won't have any text. They're just going to have images. These books can be soft cover, hardcover with a sleeve. You can decide what size they are. You can, it's very powerful, and it can be totally automatic. So, if you're not very into photography, you can still do it without having to know too much. If you are a professional photographer, it can be, you can have a lot of input into exactly how the book is going to look. So you have the best of both worlds. And then also you can send those books to be printed. It comes with, I think, like 2 places where you can print the books. And if I'm not mistaken, you can also send it to other places. You would have to set that up. And another nice thing about the books is that if you send it to print to a place, it's at the end, it's going to have a page with a logo of the place where you're printing it. And you can decide, okay, I'll allow that page with the logo, or no, I don't want that page with the logo. But if you allow that page with the logo, then you're going to have a discount on your printed book. So it's a very nice thing. So then you have the slideshow. And it's the same concept. Again, we have the same concept. Also in the books, you're going to have what do you call this? Presets. Right? In the books. In the slideshow, you're also going to have presets. And in both places, the software comes with certain presets. Same for print, same for web. So they come with presets, and you can create your own presets. This makes everything super fast. But and also it comes with an automatic. So it's going to create everything for you, and you don't have to do anything at all. So in slideshow, you can either let it do everything, or you can get into very specific detail on how you want the slideshow to go. Of course, you can put music, you can do all that stuff, and so it's a really nice way of outputting to a slideshow. You also have print, and some of the presets that it comes with are, for example, to print contact sheets, and so you can decide how big each photo in the contact sheet is. So if you gave it 50 pictures, each one is going to be one after the next, and it's small like a contact sheet would be. And you can also decide if it has some additional information. For example, the name of the photograph and I don't know what else, the ISO which was taken. There's some information that you can include there. I don't know if you can include everything. So that's the print, and you can also print your own layouts. And one of the things you can do is, for example, if you see like your kids in school, they have the day when they take pictures of the kids, and you have the picture and they give it to you, and in the same page they have small pictures like a wallet size, and they have bigger, and they have that, and all of this is printed in the same sheet of paper. You can do that, and you can also, you can do whatever. It's very nice, and it also optimizes the printing. If you have a printer, it just, it manages the colors. It can do a lot of things. Obviously, if you have a professional printer, then wow, then yeah, that's it. It really will do a great job. And then last but not least, we have the web module. And once again, it has presets. It can be automatic, or you can give it the detail that you want, and it's gonna output from that HTML or a flash gallery if that's what you want. And it will also help you to upload it to your website. So obviously you tell it what your website is, and you give it your password, and it will help you upload it to your website. So it's very nice. By the way, in the print and in the book, you can print it obviously, but you can also output as a PDF file. So that's another thing you can do. So that's about it for this introduction. We'll get next tutorial. We're going to get into the library, and within the library specifically, we're going to look at import, and that's a lot. So thank you very much, and I'll see you then.